Welcome back to episode 88 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. I am on location again, Dodger Stadium. I thought about this a couple days ago. It has been a while since I've done a podcast episode from here. It's just because it has been the days that we do this, and the way the schedule has lined up for the Dodgers. They haven't been home on Mondays. They've either been off or they've been on the road, or they've been like in the middle of a homestand. But it feels good to be back. I hate that I have to be on a time limit, but oh well, you work with what you can get with. But Kyle, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thrown out of whack a little bit. We're recording this on a Wednesday. A little bit different.
Oh yeah, that too.
Programming here. But other than that, I am doing fantastic, man. I can't complain one bit. Things are going well in Yankee land. Can't ever complain when that happens. How you doing, man?
Doing okay. Yeah, like you mentioned, a little out of whack with doing this on a Wednesday instead of Monday. Dodgers, they're okay. Like guys are coming back. I'll get into it with Gratterall a little later. Mookie Betts is supposed to return next homestand, so next week. Muncie's supposed to be back too. So guys are coming back at the right time, and they're hanging on to that division lead, man. I can't believe. I think this is the first time since really since the Giants 3 years ago, that I was actually able to say that, man, like Dodgers, somebody's threatening the Dodgers for this division, and I like that. But we'll get into that a little later. Topics that we want to discuss today. This came out of nowhere. I had no idea he was even sick. Billy Beane passed away yesterday with leukemia, so that's unfortunate. We'll touch on that just a little bit. White Sox finally ended their losing streak. And I don't know about you, but there was a lot of people that kind of wanted to see that get broken. It sucks, but a lot of people kind of wanted to see that get broken. And then there might be NASCAR and baseball getting involved. There was a report out there that the Braves and Reds will play a game at Bristol Motor Speedway next season. We'll touch on that if we think it's good or not. And then, of course, like we always do at the end of every episode, we'll do Dodgers Yankees. Simple. So, we'll get it out of the way first, just because it's kind of sad. Billy Beane passed away yesterday. That sucked. I saw the tweets coming in. Jeez, literally when I was parking here at Dodger Stadium. Sucks. Baseball lifer, pretty much. He was a player. He was a VP. Did everything. Second player to come out as gay. Openly come out as gay. So, got to see a lot of tweets yesterday about him, and they were all very positive. Like, hey, this was a good man. He was so nice to everybody. Sucks that happened. Prayers, condolences to his family and friends. But yeah, that's what I have. Sucks.
Yeah, this is this just goes back to previous episodes too. I mean, this year has been it's been really sucky, man. These deaths are happening seemingly left and right. Willie Mays kind of kicked that whole thing off, and then it kind of went on from there. And this is another one that sucks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Baseball lifer, a guy who absolutely loved the game, big advocate for the LGBTQ community. He's a great guy. Nothing but good things. It sucks. It really does. Condolences, prayers, the whole 9 yards to the family. There's no easy way to put it, but that's what I have as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Like, man, I hate that, I don't want this to be the new normal, but kind of sucks that it is right now.
Yeah.
All these big-time baseball players, executives, stuff like that, they're passing away left and right, and it sucks. And we have to do it more and again. But again, thoughts and prayers to his family. We'll we'll keep that short and keep it moving. To the White Sox. They ended their streak yesterday. Not their winning streak. No. Not their winning streak. Their losing streak. Their losing streak was, I think it snapped at 22. I think it snapped at
22.
or 22. Yeah, it snapped at 22. They beat I think the Oakland A's yesterday.
Yep.
So that was exciting. I wanted to see them break it, the all-time losing streak record, which sucks to say. And again, I'm saying this, ignorant Dodger fan who never goes through losing streaks like that. But I wanted to see them break it. Kyle, did you feel the same?
I did, man. This is a team that is putting a sorry excuse of a lineup out there each and every single night. It's painful to watch, and just to, cap it off, right? Just keep doing it. Just keep losing. This record stood for a while. The Phillies, I believe, hold the record back in the day.
Yeah.
This is just a team, like, it just really seems like these executives and the front offices aren't being penalized for kind of tanking and not really putting a good product on the field. I mean, this is pretty much the exact same thing that we're seeing all the time with the Oakland Athletics. They raised their ticket prices for the very last home game in Coliseum. What kind of bullshit is that? And with these teams it's obvious that they are not putting all their money forward to put a good product on the field for the fans. And the White Sox are in that category. So, not saying that breaking the record would penalize them, but it would give them, kind of some backlash towards it. Put them in the history books for a bad reason. You got to spend money in this league. And if you own a team, if you own a Major League Baseball team, there's no reason why you shouldn't be going out there spending money and getting in free agents. I understand there's rebuild periods. I get it. And the White Sox are obviously through one right now. But it's also pretty obvious that the front office isn't doing much. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, the Chicago White Sox made the Oakland A's look like they have a plan. And they don't either. They don't either. They make the A's look good. Like they know what they're doing. But I know a lot of people wanted to see them break it because I think they said Friday was firework night at their place. So that would have been kind of funny had they broke the all-time losing streak record. And then their fans, the ones that are left, are going to games still. If you are, God bless you. I don't know how you could. They would have had a fireworks show right after. That would have been the icing on the cake, and honestly, that probably would have been the highlight of their season. For a bad way. I mean,
yeah.
People were already talking about it already around baseball about this record that's maybe in jeopardy, if you want to call it that. But then they break it yesterday, and look, now nobody cares about the White Sox anymore now. Nobody cares. No one cares. They can go on a 3-4 game losing streak. Nobody cares. Hey, you didn't break the streak. You won a game. Great. You're an old story now. It sucks, but that's how it goes.
Agreed.
I was looking because I made the graphic the other day about the longest losing streaks for each team. There have been a couple teams that were not in jeopardy, but they were letting it get almost to that White Sox level. Not exactly, but and some of recent too. The Angels 2 years ago. Yeah, the two years the Angels were at 14 in 2022. The Tigers were at 2022 a century ago. What else do we have here? The Diamondbacks just 3 years ago had one that got to 17. And look, so it's like teams like that, especially the Diamondbacks, they should be an example. Like, hey, if you put the money and you draft and develop guys the right way, you're not gonna have losing streaks like that anymore. and you're gonna see the results. Look, Jesus, the Diamondbacks just got to the World Series last year. Um,
Yeah.
I know the Diamondbacks when they were bad, and the White Sox, what they're going through right now is completely different, because at least the Diamondbacks had a plan, and we're seeing it kind of executing it right now. But with the White Sox, it's where's the plan? Like, what are we doing? And now it's starting to trickle out within the organization that, yeah, we don't know what we're doing either. And that's a problem. That's not good.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, is listen, if you're going to go through a rebuild, at least have some sort of plan, right? And when you look at the White Sox, they have some pieces, but these are pieces that are likely going to walk, are likely not going to be on this team in a few seasons. You look at Garrett Crochet. We all thought he was going to get dealt at the deadline. He did not. Luis Robert Jr. If it wasn't for that contract that he signed early in his career, he wouldn't be there. You know, these are guys who are not going to be there long term. And when you look at the White Sox as a farm system and their prospects, there's not much there to be excited about. And that's a problem. And it all goes back to the whole plan thing, right? You need some sort of plan if you're going to go through a rebuild. And I look at the Baltimore Orioles. Look where the hell they're at right now.
Perfect
They
example of
went
this.
through so much shit. Exactly. They went through so much shit, but they drafted correctly, and they had a plan the entire time. And now it's paying off in more ways than one. This team is giving every other team in the league a run for their money and is a World Series favorite. Another team that you can look at, the Philadelphia Phillies. They're a team that in the early 2010s, mid 2010s, they were bottom feeders. This team was a joke to watch. And then they put a plan together, and they ended up signing Bryce Harper, and the rest is history. Everything else kind of just fell into place. And now they were just in the World Series 2 years ago, and they're World Series favorites. Both of those squads had plans, and they were executed perfectly, and you could see the vision of what the front office was trying to do. And when you look at teams like the Chicago White Sox and the Oakland Athletics, there is no plan. And it's kind of worrisome for the fan base because it looks like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's exactly what the White Sox are going through right now.
Well, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for the A's, Vegas. But I don't know if that gets people excited.
What you want to call it.
Yeah. I'm an optimism. I'm trying to give the A's fans something, even though they probably don't like it. But
I get it. I totally get it. It's good to be that way.
moving on. Bristol Speedway. I'm sure we've all seen it, whether you're a racing fan or not. I'm a casual. I'll turn on the Daytona 500 and all right, cool. But I'm not watching it every weekend. They did a college football game there a couple years ago, Bristol Motor Speedway, and I thought it was very successful. They got the two right teams in there, and the game was good, and it was a big spectacle. Now, baseball wants to get their hands in that. They want to do a Braves-Reds game there next season. Just one. I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it, and I'll tell you why. The NHL, baseball is so tricky because the only place you can really do these games at is like at a Field of Dreams place for a movie, or you got to go across to another country who's not, baseball's not the number one sport. In the NHL, they have all the time. You have two teams that'll go to a random football stadium or they'll go to a baseball stadium and play a game. I wish baseball would do that more often, but again, it's difficult because baseball is such difference in terms of size and the way it's played and the dimensions of the field. It doesn't accommodate for, football stadiums and stuff like that. So I like this idea of doing it at a racetrack next year. I like it. I think a lot of people would be juiced up for it. I think a lot of people would want to go. And it's history. I don't think baseball's ever done that. Obviously not. But I like it. And I hope this starts opening up the avenues for maybe some other places around the country to start doing this. I don't know exactly. I don't have them right in front of me. But Do you feel the same way, Kyle, or you got different?
I am 100% on board with you. This is a this okay. I say it every single time that we talk about the World Tour. Every time that we talk about like the Field of Dreams, anything that's out of the ordinary for baseball is usually a I'm in favor of 9 times out of 10. And I think this is a perfect way to grow the game. Yet again, I'm going to continue to say that every time that this kind of thing comes up because it's a different thing that people are going to latch on to. I know I'm going to be tuned in 100%. I am. And okay, when you break down the way that Bristol Motor Speedway kind of looks, it reminds me a lot of Polo Grounds, right? And
Yeah.
that excites the hell out of me because I wish that I was in that era where I could have watched games being played at Polo Grounds, just because I think that's such a like iconic stadium, the dimensions of it, and I really hope that they play into that at Bristol. I want to see the goofy looking right and left field. I want to see 900 feet to fucking dead center. You know, these are things that are such a difference maker in the game of baseball. And for it to be played at a racetrack, it's something that's never been done. You're gonna get fans interested who aren't interested in baseball full, right? So you're gonna get a lot of casuals back into it for that game at least. You might even get some race fans in it. You know, some fans that have never really watched baseball, but you know what? They're like, hey, they're playing a baseball game at our favorite racetrack. You know, let's tune in. Like this is cool. You know, so I just think it's yet another avenue for MLB to dip into to grow the game and kind of just get ratings up and up and up. And that's what is most important to me. Um, I'm excited for it, man. I really am, and I really hope that they play into some dimensions. I'm very curious to see how they kind of map everything out in the way that the field's going to look. Um, you know, are they going to like cap it off at at normal dimensions, or are they going to shove that shit way back? Like these are things that I'm interested in. No, I think it's such a positive for the game of baseball. Um, and yeah, I hope they continue to do this. Think outside the box. Start putting games in places that aren't really meant to be having a baseball game played at. I want to see more of that. And that's what I was excited about the moment I heard about this.
Uh, I went to something not with kind of the weird dimensions. 2008 Dodgers and Red Sox had an expedition game at the LA Memorial Coliseum. I was there with my whole family. It was fun. Um, but the only thing was the weird dimension. You had this short right. No, you had this short left field that I think it was only like 200 feet or less than that. So all somebody had to do was just get a hold of one, and it's going freaking. It's a home run. And then in right field, you had this like it was literally like I think almost 450 just to hit it out. Again, that's the weird dimensions of the Coliseum. Dodgers played there before they went to Dodger Stadium. That's the only equivalent that I have to it. I would have to go back and look at the highlights because it's on YouTube. But baseball's done it before, but never at a racetrack, and super excited. I'm sure. Now it is baseball. They can still screw this up. I would think this would be on national TV. I think this would be an ESPN or a Fox game, so the whole country can see this. Not just people who have MLB TV or just the people in Atlanta and in Cincinnati. The whole country needs to see this. So I think baseball will do the right thing, but again, you never know. Uh,
Exactly.
last,
Yeah, I
yeah.
I have to double down on that. Yeah, for sure.
All right, our teams, and then we'll get out of here and call it a day. Um, I guess I'll start with my Dodgers, just because I really don't have much thoughts on them. Like they. Well, first of all, I forgot to mention this at the top. Uh, Shout out to the Friedman family. His youngest son Max out of the hospital, expected to make a full recovery. Continuing to pray for him and his family. Happy for him. It was so cool when I came in here Monday. You had all the team and a lot of them have it on still today. They had hashtag Max Strong T-shirts on the front, and they had Friedman and the number 5 on the back. So cool. Freddie clearly emotional here. Monday, that was emotional for everybody. Got a standing ovation when he came back. Love to see that. So I'm happy that Max Friedman is doing a lot better, and he's expected to make a full recovery. Going to the team again, like they lost 2 out of 3. I think no, they got swept by San Diego, which again was their World Series. They had an ugly loss to Oakland the first night, but then they bounced back and won 2 straight. And then they beat the Phillies against Nola Monday, and then they lost yesterday. I am so sad for Brusdar Graterol. Man, he had a shoulder problem that was keeping him out this whole season. He comes back yesterday to make his debut. At 8 pitches in, he pulls his right hamstring, and it's a grade 3, which means it's basically it has to be put back together. So he's out for the rest of the season. That was confirmed last night to this morning. So that's unfortunate. A big piece of the Dodger bullpen that we were anticipating to come back and have a huge impact on this team is no longer going to be available to you. So that sucks. Mookie's supposed to come back next road trip. So is Max Muncy. So help is on the way. And we need it because the Dodgers have one of the hardest schedules this month. They got the Phillies. They got the Pirates. We go to Arizona. We go to Baltimore. Baltimore comes here. Tampa comes here. Seattle comes here. So this is going to be a hard month. We're going to learn a lot about this team, if they are for real or not. We're going to find out in this next month if they're going to, are they going to be a threat, or are they going to get bounced again in the first round? I hope that's not the case, but we're going to learn about this team in the next coming weeks. It's the perfect storm. You got guys that are coming back, and then they're got a harder schedule. So if you're the Dodgers, just stay in front in the NL West, because the schedule gets a lot easier once we hit September. Rockies, Angels, the whole shebang. So just make it through August. Jack Flaherty, shout out to him. Made his first start with the Dodgers on Saturday. Loved that. Exactly what we needed. Fresh air. Gavin Lux, shout out to you. He has really turned it around these last 3 weeks. Ever since the second half of the season, he's been feeling himself. And after everybody wanted him DFA'd the first 2 months of the season, myself included, and we wanted him in every trade for whoever, for a Boba Shed or a Schoolball or whoever, he's picked up his performance in the last 3 weeks. And I'm super happy for him, and just stay afloat. Stay afloat. Listen, Dodgers are not going to break the single season win record. They're not going to. I'm sorry. I know it was crazy to think about that for the beginning of this season, but that was going around a little bit. And I mentioned this in the video that I put out earlier. I like the fact that the Dodgers are going to have to earn it this year. They've been spoon-fed this division so many times. And finally, we're getting some damn competition. Now, part of it has been because we've been so banged up and we're losing games. But the other part of it is the Diamondbacks have had a resurgence in the last 2 months. And San Diego's pretty much been good all season. So, continue to weather the storm, because I think we're near the end of it. You got huge guys coming back into this lineup, but we're almost there. Help is on the way, Dodgers. We're almost there. That's what I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna start before I go on to the Yankees. I'm also gonna touch on Freddie Freeman a little bit. I thought that was extremely professional by the entire Dodgers organization. Supporting Freddie through that entire situation, that whole ordeal. That's such an amazing story, really it is. Luckily, thankfully that Max Freeman's going to make a full recovery. Everything's going to go well in that aspect. I also want to say props to Freddie Freeman for that comment that he made about, Dodger fans probably aren't going to like this.
Yeah.
But, Uh,
I get it,
that
man.
I think that took some balls to say, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
I respect the hell out of him for saying it. I really do. But that's also how it should be, you know. I thought that was kind of icing on the cake. Very cool moment for Freddie, and I'm just glad the whole situation worked out the way that everybody wanted it to. So
Listen.
thankfully, I'm
Yeah.
on that.
Um, I hate to be an asshole here, but I'm going to. Listen. Um, I know what Freddie said about I'd strike out Game 7 of the World Series. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it, Freddie. Oh, I
Bases
know.
loaded.
I've seen it. I saw you take a curveball right down the middle from Zach Gallen last postseason with the bases loaded. Oh, I've seen it, my friend. I know. Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
No
It's
worries.
okay. I'm an
Um,
asshole. It's okay. I know. I'm an asshole.
it's all good. It's all good. That's your team, man. I get it. Um,
See you in hell, Melo. Yep.
moving on to the Yankees here. Um, they are. I'm shocked that I'm having this kind of perspective on the Yankees right now.
Jazz
This
Chisholm.
team went through a hell of a rough stretch. Hey, come on now. This team went through a hell of a rough stretch. Looked like the sky was falling. Every Yankee fan was on Twitter blasting the front office. We were getting back to the Brian Cashman comments and the firing Aaron Boone whole ordeal. Um, it looked like the sky was falling, and this team was, really going through some shit. However, in the last 10 to 15 games, they've really turned it around. I feel like that series up in Boston kind of was the turning curve here. Took 2 out of 3 from Boston, went into Philadelphia, into Citizens Bank Park, swept the Phillies. Absolutely love to see that. And now they find themselves 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they just took Game 1 of the doubleheader against the Angels. Um, and at the very time of this recording, now things could be different because Game 2 is coming up next, but they have the best record in baseball. And if you would have told me that right before the All-Star break, I would have told you you're fucking crazy. There's no way in hell that the Yankees were gonna go back to that. I was kind of in the position of thinking, okay, first wild card spot in the American League. That's where my mind was going because of Baltimore. They were starting to heat up. Things were going well for them. And now Baltimore finds himself with a winning record in the last 10, but 6-4. So the Yankees have taken advantage of Baltimore's poorish play, I guess you could say, but they played better. That's just what it comes down to. The Yankees are getting contributions everywhere, 1 through 9. Jazz has really just stepped into third base and kind of took it, and he ran with it. He looks good over at the hot corner. He's swinging a good bat right now. Um, Everybody else in the lineup's doing their thing. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to continue to say it probably until Judge gets his second MVP at the end of the year. Um, this man is absolutely wild. I don't understand how he does this. It's insane to me. This dude is on pace for just about 60 homers. I believe he's at 58 right now. Um, the one thing is, though, is this dude is getting intentionally walked like crazy. It's been 5 times in the last 2 to 3 games, and that's not going to cut it. He's starting to get intentionally walked. It just happened in Game 1 against the Angels. Bases empty, no outs in the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Angels intentionally walked him. This is probably, I mean, I'm not going to complain because it gets him on base, whatever. But this worries me a little bit come the postseason. Because if teams are going to intentionally walk Judge, then the guys behind him need to step it up. So Austin Wells right now, he's batting cleanup basically every single day. He's doing very well right now, but he's going to have to continue that. So if I'm Aaron Boone, I'm going to have to start thinking, okay, do I switch Soto and Judge in the lineup? Because if you put Judge in the 2-hole, guess what? Now you got to pitch to Soto. And I think this is going to be a real possibility come October, come late regular season. It's going to have to happen. If Judge keeps getting intentionally walked, you're going to have to figure something out. because Judge is the main contributor on this team, and the best protection for him is Juan Soto. So if you need to, you switch those two in the lineup. That's what it comes down to. Other than that, the pitching, they're starting to come around a little bit more. It's nice to see. Garrett Cole, he just needs to get back on track a little bit. Marcus Stroman, his start got pushed back, because of mechanics and things. Other than that, this team is kind of riding high right now, and they just need to continue that. Like I said, they are a game ahead in the AL East right now of the Orioles. We'll see how that happens come the morning time. But yeah, I can't complain. We're sitting at 68-46 right now. 22 games over 500. There's not much I can complain about when we're talking about that in the standings. So just keep doing what you're doing and take advantage of it. And especially because I believe to finish off the regular season, the Yankees have the third easiest schedule. So everything in the past, you leave it in the past. You look forward now, and you just kind of ride this until October hits. And you'll be first place in the AL East. If you continue the way you need to, there's no reason why you shouldn't. You have a very easy schedule to finish out the year. You take advantage of that, you beat the teams that you're supposed to. I understand there's going to be some fumbles in there, but when it comes down to it, there's no reason why this team should not win the AL East this year. And that's what I have on the Yankees.
And with that, I think that's going to wrap up episode 88. Unless you got anything else. I don't.
I think that's it. Quick and easy.
Shohei Ohtani's throwing out in left field again. He's pretty much. He's like throwing. He's throwing beyond 180. He's past that second base from the line in the outfield, from the white line. Can he pitch?
I do want to put this in your head real quick. Just kind of closing thoughts to wrap this all up here. Let's say Dodgers,
I've thought about this.
NLCS, Game 7 maybe, maybe Game 5, Game 6 of the World Series if it gets there. You think there's a chance Ohtani might pitch if need be?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mentioned that during the offseason when they got him last year. Don't be surprised if you see him, especially if this Dodger team gets into the NLCS or gets to a World Series. I'm willing for him to risk it. Not as a starter. Maybe as a reliever or a closing role. Bullpen. Give me 1 inning. Couple nights. Would not be shocked. And I would have no issues with it whatsoever. If he feels like he's good to go, and if the Dodgers feel like he's good to go, I'm all for it. Oh, you got me excited. Got me excited there.
Okay. I will say this. The amount of goosebumps and the chills that I would get if I'm watching let's just say Dodgers-Phillies NLCS, Game 7, right? And, Game 7 in Dodger Stadium, and all of a sudden, ESPN pans over to the bullpen and you see Ohtani warming up. Come on.
I'll be instantly hard.
That's peak baseball.
Yeah. I'll be hard instantly. Listen, I am all the time, but that would really make me go insane. It really would. Yeah, I hope for that. I root for that. But listen, if I had to put money on it, no. I think the Dodgers, obviously, it's year 1 of 10. They're looking for the future, all that stuff that no Dodger fan wants to hear. But wouldn't shock me. And I'd be all for it. But we'll see.
Yes, we will.
That's going to do it for episode 88. We will see you back next Monday. Adios.